today was a big day for teenagers in India, particularly those in the age bracket of 15 to 18 years. They've managed to get the vaccine pass. The CoWIN portal today registered close to 6.5 lakh registrations. One can imagine how well the vaccination drive went. Here on India Today, we bring you the biggest coverage on the vaccine drive that took place across the country, with close to 10 crore teenagers yet to get their vaccine. Here are the visuals coming in on day one. Of course, India Today covering this extensively across the length and breadth of the country. You have Bharat Biotech's Covaxin shots that's being given to teenagers between 15 to 18. Let's have a look how it panned out.
I'm actually excited, and then I'll get to go somewhere and then go to college also. I'm actually excited to go to college. First year in college and all.
India's young finally getting their date with the COVID vaccine, with the 15-plus teen category finally getting the life-saving jabs. Teens and adolescents flanked by parents lined up for the Made in India Covaxin shots by Bharat Biotech. Over 10 crore young Indians are eligible for the shots. Preparations were made days ago in government and private schools and hospitals in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bengaluru and many other cities. Gujarat's capital, Gandhinagar, was among the first cities to start vaccination sharp at 8 a.m.
I'm feeling pretty healthy. Confidence आ गया है. Side effects की भी चिंता करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है सच तो, क्योंकि it's all for the betterment of the country and for ourselves, क्योंकि जल्दी से कोविड भगाना है ताकि चीज़ें नॉर्मल हो पाए.
मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी कि सब लोग वैक्सीन ले ताकि वो सेफ रह सके, क्योंकि हम अभी ग्रोइंग एज में है तो हमारा स्टडी इम्पॉर्टेंट है. सो अगर हम वैक्सीन लेंगे तो हम सेफ रह सकेंगे and we can continue our study.
In the national capital, kids seemed confident and eager to get vaccinated.
Do you have any sort of hesitancy? Are you afraid or anything now?
One of our friends who normally cries during the vaccination, she didn't cry, so we are very confident that we won't cry.
Our parents are fully vaccinated. We also want to be vaccinated.
Oh, that's very nice.
So we can go to school also.
That's amazing.
At Mumbai's BKC Jumbo Vaccination Centre, parents were hopeful yet a little nervous.
Is there a sense of excitement or nervousness?
I think excitement because we've been waiting for the children to get vaccinated. Right. Nervousness because, they're our child after all, so we're a little worried about what the side effects could be, if anything. But I think it's important to get vaccinated.
In Kolkata, which witnessed a massive spike in daily COVID cases, young girls lined up at the vaccination centre, excited to get jabbed.
लेने के पहले थोड़ा ऐसे हो रहा था कि डर लग रहा था, लगेगा बहुत दर्द, सब लोग बोलते हैं कि बहुत दर्द होता है, तो उन लोग इतना अच्छे तरीके से दिया तो अभी दर्द नहीं हुआ और थोड़ा सा खून निकला है. तो
पहले थोड़ा टेंशन हो रहा था, अब ठीक हूँ, अब तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है.
Similar scenes played out in Chennai, where children were hopeful of breaking the shackles of COVID and resuming normal school routine.
This is a setup in a school, and the state government has also decided to involve schools and other education institutions in this particular action because it is much more easy to actually find the children and get them vaccinated. Here is a particular setup. You have all the medical equipment, everything, which will be present at this point. And the state has also decided that as and when it gets the vaccines, especially for now we are getting Covaxin, this will be done because these are the children who actually gather in a group or several times, and there are a lot of chances for the variant, especially the Omicron variant, which is also spreading quickly in the state of Tamil Nadu.
Apart from lakhs of registration on the CoWIN platform, walk-in registration for vaccination is also allowed at vaccine centres.
It's a very good initiative by the government, and secondly, the best target audience is the kids right directly in their schools. So the most comfortable place to be always is your school for anything.
A shot in the arm of young India continues to give a boost to India's vaccination drive as India braces for the third wave. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, as India is seeing a sudden surge in COVID cases, a cruise ship which was on its way from Mumbai to Goa has now become the new hotspot for COVID-19. Out of the 2,000-odd passengers, 66 passengers have tested positive on that cruise ship of COVID-19. The Cordelia cruise ship, which left from Mumbai to Goa, is now stranded at the Murmugaon port terminal. COVID scare is reported right after one crew member tested positive for COVID, and then the ship itself, while it was approaching Goa, was not allowed to dock at the Goa port. With fear, Goa government insisted that all passengers get a COVID check, a test done. And after test results have come out, we see that at least 66 out of the 2,016 odd passengers on that ship have tested positive. Now, the Goa government has refused permission to dock the ship. Meanwhile, arrangements are being made for those passengers, 2,000 of them, to be quarantined adequately. Only those who have a negative RT-PCR will be allowed to disembark from that ship. In fact, a medical team wearing PPE kits went on the ship to conduct a test of over 2,000 people, and that eventually led to 66 people coming out positive. Now, as Uttar Pradesh elections fast approaches, it seems like Hindutva has once again become the hot topic. While addressing a large gathering in Amethi, Yogi Adityanath has hit out at Rahul Gandhi, calling him a Chunavi Hindu. In fact, after being called Chunavi Hindu, Congress has now hit out at the BJP, calling Yogi Adityanath now an accidental yogi. Here's what's taken place in Amethi, which was once the Gandhi bastion. Ahead of Uttar Pradesh polls, Hindutva now becomes the hot topic again, with Yogi Adityanath calling Rahul Gandhi a Chunavi Hindu.
हिंदूपन का ये भाव व्यक्ति, जाति, मत और मजहब में नहीं बांटती। ये हमारी सांस्कृतिक पहचान है। इस सांस्कृतिक पहचान को जानने का प्रयास अगर इन लोगों ने किया होता तो 1947 में इस देश का दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण विभाजन भी नहीं होता। तो चुनाव के दौरान यहां के पूर्व सांसद जब एक मंदिर में गए और मंदिर में घुटने टेक करके पूजा करने के दृश्य बैठने के लिए घुटना टेक करके जैसे बैठे तो पुजारी ने कहा भी पालती मार के बैठो। उन्होंने कहा नहीं, हमें जानकारी नहीं है। उन्होंने कहा भैया ये मंदिर है, ये मस्जिद नहीं है, कम से कम इतना तो सीख लो। अब जिन लोगों को इतने भी संस्कार न हो, वे हिंदू और हिंदुत्व के बारे में भी इस प्रकार का दुष्प्रचार करें तो ये उनकी बुद्धि का फेर है।
आदित्यनाथ जी एक्सीडेंटल योगी, मैं उन्हें राजनीतिक योगी भी नहीं कहूंगा क्योंकि वो योग का अपमान होता है। वो उस भगवे का अपमान कर रहे हैं जो भगवा हमारे साधु संत धारण करते आए हैं। जब कुछ ना आए तो उल जलूल बातें करके लोगों का ध्यान भटकाओ।
Now, controversy has erupted over a parliamentary panel examining a bill that wants to raise the marriageable age of women in India from 18 to 21. The controversy is around the fact that out of the 30 members on that panel, only one TMC MP, Sushmita Dev, is the woman MP in that panel. While you have a bill being rolled out on women's rights, it's mandatory to have more women in the panel. That's what the opposition claims. Let's take a look at what happened.
This was one key bill that the government failed to push through in the winter session. The contentious bill to raise the age of marriage for women saw a big divide. Amid protests from several lawmakers, the bill was sent to a parliamentary panel for further scrutiny. Strangely, on an issue that deeply concerns girls, TMC MP from Rajya Sabha, Sushmita Dev, is the only woman MP among 31 members in the panel.
The very idea of a standing committee is scrutiny of the bill and listening to different voices and different views. It's a sensitive matter and everybody will be heard. Yes, I do wish there were more MPs, women MPs on this committee.
Shiv Sena MP Priyanka Chaturvedi even wrote a letter to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Venkaiah Naidu, pointing out the irony. She requested him to ensure more representation and participation of women in the discussion on the marriage bill within the standing committee. Chaturvedi said it was disheartening to see only one woman MP in the standing committee. NCP MP Supriya Sule voiced similar sentiment and said there should have been more women MPs in the panel, which will deliberate on issues related to women. Activists also pitched for a more women-inclusive panel for the marriage bill.
The bill, which is supposed to be taking care of women empowerment and children, youth, and which is working on such an important amendment, which is Child Marriage Prohibition Act 2021 amendment, have only one single woman out of 31. It's a big shame. I think this is a very, very introspective time, and that one has to really think where we are right now when it comes to women empowerment and equality.
At present, the minimum age for a woman to get married in India is 18. The bill seeks to increase the legal age of marriage of women to 21. The centre wants to bring amendments to 7 personal laws, including the Indian Christian Marriage Act, the Parsi Marriage Act, the Muslim Personal Law Shariat Application Act. While Parliament has a bigger women representation than before, it does not appear to reflect in parliamentary panels. Bureau Report, India Today.
An unsavory gift comes on New Year's Eve by the Chinese troops. A video that was posted on Twitter by a Chinese television, a Chinese state media-run reporter, has put out a video showing Chinese troops unfurling a Chinese flag at the Galwan Valley. This, of course, has received sharp criticism. Opposition leaders hitting out at the Modi government for not being able to handle Chinese aggression for the last 19 months. Here's what happened.
Did anyone really expect a different New Year gift from a country that has presented the world with nothing but human misery since 2020? As 2021 turned to 2022, just as the latest variant of China's global pandemic gift was assuming scary proportions, the Chinese government was busy pumping money into yet another propaganda video to taunt India. A video designated to mock just hours after troops from both sides exchanged sweets at one of the other friction points, reminding India and the world that no matter what else happens, Chinese propaganda cannot and will not ever stop. Amplified and trended by official Chinese cyber armies and state organs, the video showing Chinese soldiers unfurl a large symbolic Chinese flag somewhere in the Galwan Valley to the tune of Chinese military chants is designated to poke and provoke. 18 months after 20 Indian soldiers and by some accounts a greater number of Chinese soldiers were killed in a violent close quarter combat clash. The video is only the latest in a stream of images China has selectively leaked since the June 2020 Galwan incident. Clips selectively leaked to show Indian troops captive, injuries to Indian soldiers, and a dominant Chinese army. Selective clips designed to show the opposite of what really happened. For instance, while the Chinese army appears to be brandishing the flag in an effort to suggest it is in control of the Galwan friction point, top Indian army sources have confirmed to India Today that this video is nowhere near where the violence happened and is in fact deep within the Chinese side. Low on fact, but high on mind games and poking innuendo. That's the Chinese brand of provocation. One top-level Indian assessment suggests that Chinese predilection with propagating falsehood about Galwan is specifically because of the damage suffered by the People's Liberation Army on that cold June night.
If a clear-cut examination of this video is done, it is all fake, and this has been made in their area where they are still in possession, being their side of the LAC, and they have depicted the facts and figures in a manner so that their soldiers and their population believes in this kind of video and their morale is raised.
But India's political atmosphere has meant that the slightest propaganda from Beijing is immediately pounced upon by Indian opposition parties.
Not an inch of our soil is occupied by the Chinese. This is what he's been telling us. So on what soil is this flag being hoisted?
Modi government is a weak-kneed government. I'm sorry to say, but we have a weak Prime Minister who refuses to utter the word China. Modi government has compromised on national security and territorial integrity of India. This is an unpardonable sin that no government has committed.
The provocation comes days after the Chinese renamed 15 places in Arunachal Pradesh. The government had then put out a sharp reaction, reiterating that the state of Arunachal Pradesh is an integral part of India. As another cold winter peaks in Ladakh, China's fresh propaganda effort confirms once again that a world battling a Chinese-supplied pandemic doesn't matter to Xi Jinping's government. It's power play and propaganda first. With Shivarur, Bureau Report, India Today.
It's time now for a short break. Coming up next, India Today's fact check. A photograph that's masquerading as the truth. We're going to fact check that picture on the other side. Stay with us. India Today's anti-fake news war room has fact-checked this photograph. A photo that shows the comparison of upgraded gear used by the CRPF in 2011 and in 2022. While the conclusion here is that this claim is absolutely misleading. This image that was shared as that of the CRPF Jawan from 2011 was clicked basically in 2017, while the second image is of an elite commando of the paramilitary force. On that note, it's a wrap on 7 at 7. I'm going to come back with a really shocking news that's come to fore of an app called Bully Buy that targets Indian Muslim women, photographs of them put up without their consent and lewd comments being made on that platform. Women come out in large numbers to complain. I'm going to take you through that with those victims on the other side. Stay tuned.